As boxing is fully aware by now, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker is no longer with us. He died aged 55 a few days ago after getting hit by a car in Virginia. Just the kind of accident that really reminds us that you do not know when your time is up. Now, for most boxing fans, the name Pernell Whitaker just makes you think unbelievably hard to fight, a nightmare of an opponent, could make you miss almost in choreographed scenes, the amount he would make you miss. I don't want to use the cliche The Matrix, but it was a little bit like that. But he was such a mischievous fighter at the same time as being so skillful. He was like a piece of rubber, would joke after making you miss. I've seen him do 360 spins, which you're not allowed to do. He had old school tricks like trying to turn you around, like fighters used to do very often, like Willie Pep in the 40s. He was just a complete package. And the fact he wasn't really a fan favourite and wasn't a big puncher at the time kind of adds to his charm as just this nightmare situation in whatever division he was at. Now, in terms of number of fights in his career, I think he only had 45. There were a few comeback ones that didn't mean a lot. So just over 40, really. The only other really great fighter I can think who had such few fights is probably Sugar Ray Leonard, who I think had 40. But different to Leonard, who of course had spectacular victories, Sweet Pea is better known for his controversial decisions that went against him. Most notably, that 1993 fight against El Gran Campeón Julio Cesar Chavez. Officially a draw, but Sweet Pea definitely deserved the decision, I think, by a few rounds. There was a funny moment in that fight where Joe Cortez was separating them, and Sweet Pea, with his mischievous way, he didn't like how long he was being held out for after the break, and he kind of threw Cortez's hand away. And Cortez was like, "Don't you be pushing me, man." And then Sweet Pea kind of apologised. But it was just those little rogue elements about him, I think, that made him even more fun to watch. Interestingly about that fight is it didn't take place at either guy's best weight. Sweet Pea's best weight was lightweight, and Chavez, light welter, probably lightweight as well. So it would have been an even better fight a couple of weights below. Now, lightweight, yes, that was Sweet Pea's best weight division. His work rate was sensational. While he wasn't the biggest puncher, I think his knockouts were probably, or knockout percentage was a little bit, what's the word? Not representative fully of his power, because he fought a lot of tough opponents. Now, historically speaking, if we just zoom out, the lightweights over the last 100 years very well may be the greatest in terms of just pure pound-for-pound talent. You have the three kings of the lightweight division around the turn of the 20th century. Joe Gans, the old master, sensational. You had Benny Leonard in the 20s, the Ghetto Wizard, unbelievable. And you had, of course, Manos de Piedra, Roberto Duran in the 70s. Those three guys can all arguably be rated near or in the top 10 best fighters of all time, and there's three of them at lightweight. You also had Ike Williams, Tony Canzoneri, Carlos Ortiz. The lightweight division at 135 pounds is absolutely packed full of talent. And probably the biggest compliment you could give Sweet Pea is that against any of those guys, at his best, he would definitely hold his own.